In every binomial expansion such as a plus x whole to the power n, here a can be anything but real number. Okay, x is also is a real number. Now here x can be replaced by some other x, 1 by x or 1 by x square. So we can find any other expansion as x square plus 1 by x whole square whole to the power 10, 9x cube minus 1 by 3x square whole to the power 15. So there are many binomial expansion, right? Now if we expand this, we will get 11 terms. In each of the terms, the value of the x or power of the x is different. Okay, that can be anything, right? So some power of x to the power n, some power will be given at that term, or some power may not be in the term in the expansion. Okay, so how to find a certain coefficient of a certain power of x, okay, such as x to the power 7 or x to the power 9. How to find? So if we expand this and simplify it, the total 11 part, then we can calculate the required coefficient of x to the power 7 or x to the power 8 if it exists. Okay, now so it may be very difficult, right? We have to calculate 11 terms, then simplified it, then we have to compute the or check if there exist or not, right? And for this case we have to expand and we will get 16 numbers. So there is simplest process as, let's say, now one question, we will explain it as an example. Let's say this question. Okay, here is given 9x cube minus 1 by 3x square whole to the power 15. Okay, we have to find the coefficient of x to the power 10. Let's say it may be exist or not. Okay, so we don't know which term contain x to the power 10, right? So we will assume that some terms contain x to the power 10. That term be r plus 1th term. Okay, so we will assume that r plus 1th term contain x to the power 10. So by general term formula, tr plus 1 equals to, here n equals to 15, c r, a means 9x cube, so 9x cube whole to the power 15 minus r into b means minus 1 by 3x square whole to the power r. Okay, now to solve this kind of problem, the coefficient, total coefficient, we have to take out the total coefficient as one part and total power of x in the second part. Okay, so constant term will be separated from the variable. So from this part we will get 9 to the power 15 minus r, x cube whole to the power 15 minus r. From this part minus 1/3 whole to the power r and 1 by x square whole to the power r. These are the these are the constant term. So 15 cr 9 to the power 15 minus r minus 1/3 whole to the power r, and the total power of this term will be, total power of x will be 3 will be multiplied, so 15 minus 3r, and for this 1 by x to the power 2r. So 15 cr 9 to the power 15 minus r minus 1/3 whole to the power r x to the power. This will be here will be negative subtracted from the total power. So 45 minus 3 and minus 2r, which will be 45 minus 5r. Right? Now here there is only one x and whose power is 45 minus 5r, but we have assumed that r plus 1th term contain x to the power 10. So by assumption 45 minus 5r will be 10. Right? So 5r equals to 45 minus 10, 5r equals to 35, so r equals to 7. Okay, r equals to 7 means the required term is 7 plus 1th term. Okay, and the required coefficient will be, that is 8th term, and required coefficient total power this, the total coefficient will be this will be the total coefficient. Okay, the required coefficient of x to the power 7 will be, in this term, in this part we will put r equals to 7. So 15 c7 9 to the power 15 minus 7 1 by 3 whole to the power 7. Now you have to calculate it. You will calculate this by using the calculator. 15 c7 9 to the power 15 minus 7 means 9 to the power 8 and 1 by 3 to the power 7. This can be also written as 15 c7 into 3 to the power 16 divided by 3 to the power 7, which means 15 c7 into 3 to the power 9. You will calculate. You can calculate this by using calculator. As 3 to the power 9 is a very large number, you can answer in this form. You can take the answer in this form. Okay, so this is how you can find whatever the question is. Here x to the power 10 maybe we have to find x to the power 10 or x to the power 7 or x to the power 9, whatever may be. So we first assume r plus 1th term be the content this x to the power 10 or x to the power 7. Okay, now in the next part, how to find, this is the important part, how to find a term independent of x, if it exists or not. If exists, then which term, and if does not exist, then does not exist. Okay, so how to find the independent of x? Independent of x means there is, in the term there is no x. Okay, after expansion there will be a term which does not contain x. Okay, if it exists. So we will take an example as, let's say x square minus 1 by 2x whole to the power 11. Okay, is there a element or is there a term which contain which is independent of x? Independent of x means there is or contain x to the power 0. X to the power 0 means 1, so there will be no independent of x. Okay, so in the similar way, by the previous question, in the similar way we will assume that r plus 1th term is the independent of x. ঠিক আছে, r plus 1th term is independent of x. So by the general formula, tr plus 1 equals to 11 cr. Okay, then a square, a to the power 11 minus r minus 1 by 2x whole to the power r. Okay, so in same way we have to calculate only the coefficient and constant term and total power of x in the form. Okay, so this will be x to the power 22 minus 2r. This can be written as 1 by minus half whole to the power r into 1 by x to the power r. Okay, so 11 cr minus 1 by 2 whole to the power r, and this will be x to the power 22 minus 2r, and this is only r minus r. So 11 cr minus half whole to the power r x to the power 22 minus 3r. Okay, now as this term contain x to the power 0, or this is an independent of x, so this will be 1. Okay, it cannot be 0, so this will be 1. When this can be 1? Whenever 22 minus 3r equals to 0. So as the term independent of x, we will get this relation, 22 minus 3r equals to 0. So 3r equals to 22, r equals to 22 by 3. Now this is a fraction number. Okay, whenever you get r equals to fraction number, then our assumption is failed, as r plus 1 term means term cannot be a fraction. Okay, there cannot be a half term, there cannot be a 1/3 term. Okay, there will be first term, second term, third term, fourth term, always a natural number. Okay, so whenever you get a fraction number, right, whenever you get a fraction number, then the assumption is false. Okay, that is the opposite assumption will be true. So if there is an independent of x, for this we will get a fraction number, so there is no term, independent of x. Same goes for the previous question. If r equals to fraction, then there will be no term containing x to the power 10. Okay, understand? So this is how you can find the term independent of x. If r equals to some constant number, r equals to some integer, then the required term will be, if let's say r equals to 7, then the 7 plus 1th term will be independent of x, and required term will be 8th term, and you will put the value r in this form. In this part we will get the required term, value of the term. So I have given some example in the material. You check it out. Okay, and give you some homework, right? Try for yourself.